All right, we're live there. And we should be good. Okay. Welcome to Leah. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. Minus some technical issues on my end. I feel like I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Good. So tell everybody a little bit about you and where you're at. I know you're in Las Vegas, but how long have you been there? Kind of like walk us through your journey a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So I was not born in Vegas, but I was raised here. I've been in Vegas 30 plus years. I know I don't look it. Thank you. Um, I absolutely love it here, from the entertainment aspects, the amazing food, the ability to pretty much do whatever you want at whatever time of the day feels appropriate is amazing. Or you have the ability to live more of like that suburban like lifestyle and not even go down to the strip if you don't want to. I'm
Right.
obsessed with Vegas, and I couldn't imagine honestly living anywhere else.
That's awesome. And you said you grew up there?
Yeah, I was raised out here. I went to school out here. I went to college out here. Absolutely, absolutely love it.
Love. Where did you go to college?
So I originally did CSN, and then I moved over to UNLV. I was an
Okay.
elementary education major, actually, believe it or not. And then I realized kids weren't really my jam. I do have two, 10 out of 10 don't recommend. No, I'm just kidding.
Me too.
But after, making that discovery, I was in my 5th year and going through my practicum. Hats off to my grandparents were special education teachers. My grandmother retired after 35 years at the school district as a special education teacher. So I thought I wanted to walk in her footsteps, right?
Right.
And I did my practicum in a special education class, and I got a pencil through my hand like week 1 in. Whatever the case may be, I just realized that really wasn't for me. And
Wasn't
so instead, I made the pivot, and goodness, I do love my first time home buyers. It feels very
Yeah.
similar to you're dealing with adults and they're just learning a whole new world.
Yeah, for sure. So, obviously everybody thinks of Vegas as like the party scene, but I'm sure there's more to it than that, right? So what do you think, like, what could you share about Vegas in general?
Yeah. So one of my favorite things is, prior to my real estate career, I did work on the strip in the hospitality industry, food and beverage, very popular, like so many of us here in Vegas did. Um, it was always hilarious to me when our customers would come in and they asked which hotel I lived in.
Yeah.
So many people don't realize that. What was that, Kelsey? Sorry.
They thought you just lived there at a hotel.
Yeah, we're just shy of 3 million people in Las Vegas now that live here. So that would be a little challenging for all of us to live in the hotels. However, it's, because so many people are focused, when we're a very travel and tourism based market, right? And so we do have a ton of people that come in and they only know of the strip. And it's always a shock to them that we have Trader Joe's and Costco's and schools and parks.
Mhm.
People choose to raise their families here and live an amazing lifestyle. So.
Yeah. And do you live and like work mostly farther off the strip, or where does your work kind of take you?
Yeah, so my office specifically is based in Summerlin. It's the west side of Las Vegas. Everyone that tends to make the move here, they either say they want to live in Summerlin or Henderson. I feel like that's been a very common thing. That's the two areas of town most people tend to like recognize or know about, especially a lot of our California buyers. But I do service the entire valley, including Summerlin, Las Vegas, Enterprise, and Henderson. But my office specifically is in Summerlin. I was born and raised in Summerlin, and I now live in the southwest side of town, which is booming right now. We're seeing so much growth out there. The
Yeah.
best part about it is I feel like you can get anywhere in Vegas in about 47 minutes.
Oh, really?
So it's not crazy. It's an easy commute across town.
That's nice, as long as you're off the strip, right? Because like when you're on the strip, the traffic is so crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean they're starting to prep again here soon for F1 coming back. So streets are going to be closing, roads are going to be closing. There's going to be like our state flower is a traffic cone.
That's awesome. I feel like that Vegas is so big and there's so much for everyone that it's probably hard to hone in on like what the lifestyle is like. But obviously there's like a lot of golf, a lot of desert. Is there a lot of like hiking and other, nature preserves and things like that nearby?
Yeah, so that's what's really awesome. So you have the ability to go out to Mount Charleston, which is about, okay, let's say 45 minutes from the Strip.
Okay.
And you make your way up the mountain, you'll see a 25-degree difference, right? At least. We're doing our ALC retreat, a mid-year retreat on Friday, and we're going to be out there. We're in Mount Charleston, one of the lender's properties in Mount Charleston, and we get to literally sit outside and not be burning up in 110 plus degree weather. It's going to be amazing. Can't wait. Yeah, but there's hiking trails, there's red rocks, for outdoor enthusiasts, like bike paths, there's everything you could potentially want to do here in such a short distance, which is, which is an amazing offering.
Yeah. Talk to me about like cost of living, because obviously when you're on the Strip, everything is so expensive, but when you get farther off, does it get a little bit more affordable, or is it still kind of those prices?
So we've definitely seen a shift, right? So a lot of people don't realize this. When you're on the Strip, everything is so expensive because the Strip is union ran, right? So a lot of the industry workers and everything are union based, and they have to make a livable wage as well. And so you're going to see that reflected in the prices on the Strip 100%. When you go off Strip, you're not necessarily, a lot of these restaurants aren't union based or anything like that. So you do have a little bit more affordability. However, we are definitely seeing some of our local restaurants competing with Strip pricing. And things ultimately have gotten more expensive over the years. I do miss my $14 martinis. Those don't really exist anymore. We're at like $22 a drink now at this point, it feels like, but that's okay.
Just don't.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't hurt if you have 5 of them. Just kidding. But things are definitely a little bit more affordable off the Strip. What I love about Vegas is we're really growing into this crazy metropolitan city of sorts, but we're also one of the most affordable metropolitan cities. I'm going to say affordable in quotes because affordability is based on how other people perceive it as being affordable, right?
Right. No, that's interesting.
Growth's been crazy.
What is your guys' median home price?
We hover right about 485,000 right now.
Okay, that's not too far off of Austin. We're at like 440. So.
Yeah, and we're seeing it. I mean, we are continuing to see it going up. We are still sitting short inventory currently in our market space, and we do have that demand still pretty relevant here in Vegas right now. There are buyers buying. People have accepted kind of where the interest rates are at the moment, and or should those adjust down the way, they know that they have the ability to refinance whenever that time's right for them. But yeah, we're definitely seeing a lot more demand coming back. I don't know if you guys experience this out there. I'm curious. So typically right around that July 4th weekend, we tend to see showings on our listings drop a little bit as more people are now focusing on kids going back to school and everything like that. And then we tend to see like a little bit of pick me up come back September, October, and then the holidays, November, December, and beginning of January tend to be a little bit slower. Is that pretty typical for your guys' market in Austin as well?
Yeah, in normal years. This year's been really weird though. Like the beginning of the summer was kind of slow, and then now it seems like there's a really weird late summer push. I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but it just seems like there's definitely more activity now than we usually see. So I'm kind of curious to see what happens, but I don't know. All bets are off.
I know the last 4 years has just been crazy overall, yeah. It feels like. So I'm like, let's just see what the world throws at us next. We're doing this.
For real. So do you feel like most people that live in Vegas are transplants, have moved from somewhere else, or is it kind of a good mix?
So Vegas is a very transient city. We have a lot of people, we're very hospitality industry based, but then we've had so much growth over the last few years. A lot of people don't realize this, but 40% of our buyers in 2023 that bought homes here in Las Vegas were from California. So we're very energy efficient here too. It's great. But we've seen a lot of movement come in from specifically LA and the Bay Area. And that's really where we're seeing a ton of our buyers coming in. You know, hats off to those buyers. They're cashing out on equity out there, selling properties and taking what, you know, they're spending for $1 million plus out there, bringing cash to our valley to purchase homes at a little bit more reasonable price that are very comparable still.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we've seen. And I'm sure you guys have seen something very similar out there too. A lot of California buyers coming your way.
Yeah, I mean, and for the most part, the California buyers that we have are coming out here. Obviously, properties, the values are a lot less, right? So they have a lot more wiggle room in their budget. But the other thing is we don't have income tax, so that's a big draw as well. I don't know if there's any other like tax benefits that people are targeting Las Vegas or that area for, or if it's just, you know, their money goes farther.
Their money goes further. We definitely have a lot of opportunities as far as tax opportunities. You know, I don't like to advise too strongly on those, obviously, but we see a lot of people making the move here where we have a large snowbird presence as well. So a lot of people making their way outside of the cold month weathers. So making the way out from the winter and coming to Vegas to enjoy our not so cold winters.
Right.
But don't get me wrong, like when it hits 60 degrees, I need to be bundled up in a jacket because I have Vegas blood at this point.
Right.
So if it's not 100 degrees and dry, then I don't know what to do with myself, really.
Yeah. It's so funny. So as far as the real estate market goes, what would you say are you guys typically in a buyer's market right now or more balanced?
We're still in a seller's market here because we just
Okay.
don't have the inventory to support it. Homes that are priced well. Let's start off with that, right? The sellers have to have realistic expectations about what's going on in our market. But homes that are priced well are still selling. You know, within a reasonable amount of time, I think we're sitting right about 28 to 32 days average on market, which isn't awful. It's not like that 2 seconds it felt like a few years back.
Yeah.
But I had a client who found a great property recently and there were 9 offers in on it.
Wow.
And it was 2 days on market. So the agents who know how to price their properties right are going to see that demand and most likely get over asking with minimal contingencies.
Mm-hmm. What would you recommend for somebody that's moving to your area? Like if I mean, obviously you've worked with a lot of people moving from California. If somebody were to be moving from Texas or another state to your area, what would you recommend for them?
So definitely make your way off the strip, right? So you have to look at it, Las Vegas, Henderson as a whole. You have to get a feel for where you will fit in, you feel comfortable, right? So I always take any of my relocation buyers. I want to make sure they have an idea of where they want to be. Again, everyone comes to me and say they either want to live in Summerlin or Henderson. And those are very similar but two different areas, right? And so you have to adjust to what the amenities are in the area and what you feel comfortable with. So I like to take a deeper dive into what ideal space the client's looking for. You know, and then of course that's going to range around price point too. Those are two different price points. And so we have to take a look at this like very holistically. What do you guys enjoy doing? Obviously, just like you're aware, and I'm sure you tell all of your buyers too, we can never tell you what's going to be a good or a bad side of town. And so many buyers are always shocked by that because of our ethics and what we have to do. So I like to make sure I am very adamant about when my clients come and they're touring the areas. When we find a home they love, my best advice I give them is go to the local grocery store near the home and go get gas and go by the school at about 3:20. So you get a feel for if you're near a school, are you okay being there at 3:20 when the kids let out or at 8 in the morning when the kids are getting dropped off? Do you feel comfortable in the grocery stores? Do you feel comfortable getting gas at night at the gas station? Because ideally, that's what you're going to be doing when you live there. So we want to make sure you feel comfortable. So take a look around, explore your options. I also have a great home buyer's guide, relocation guide I send to my relocating clients so they get an idea of all the different aspects available to them and the range of price points too.
Perfect. And then obviously with it being so hot, does everybody have pools or is it mostly like community pools?
So there are community pools available. A lot of people do have their personal residence pools too. Again, that just depends on price point and where they're at. I feel like pools are definitely a calling here and in high demand. However, a lot of people don't love the maintenance of pools, right? So community pools, a lot of townhomes, condos, even some of the single family residents that are maybe more in a master plan community, they do offer public pools, shared access pools, and a lot of people do benefit from those because they don't have to worry about the additional maintenance. They just pay the HOA of it.
Yeah, I also noticed on your last post that you have AstroTurf, and I was like, oh, I want that so bad at my house.
It gets so hot. Unless you have the cooling beads, it gets so hot.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, there's some, but I mean, so we have some new water restrictions in place here in the valley. So anyone who's building pools, there's new restrictions in place. A lot of people don't realize the largest pool you can build now in the valley is 600 square feet. Um, so that is a new restriction they've put in place, as long as making sure by 2027 we've converted all of our non-usable turf or grass to turf, unless it's in like a designated like park or golf course or things like that.
But the artificial turf itself, it still gets really hot.
Yeah, that's something we do notice. So during the heat of the summer, I don't like walking on them barefoot. Let's just say that.
I'm sure the technology will get advanced with that too and helping it stay cool. But it's just like things we're having to deal with nowadays with the desert and like climate. I mean, our area is super hot too, and a lot of people are going that route just because of water restrictions. There's just no way to keep the grass healthy and green.
Yeah, it can be really challenging, and so that's low maintenance. It's easy if you have younger children. It's something that you can maintain. You don't have to worry about landscapers continuously showing up. It's just set it and go, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you. Is there anything else you can think of that like makes Vegas or Las Vegas or Nevada any sort of ideal place for someone relocating?
I think there's just a ton of opportunity because we are moving out of being we are adjusting our economy. We're seeing more and more companies coming. We're seeing the growth with our professional sports teams as well. I think there's just a lot of demand in Vegas. So, the A's, the Tropicana Hotel closed, and that's where they're putting the A's baseball park. That will be opening in the next few years, is my understanding. And I know we're going to be having some basketball teams, some professional basketball teams coming here. We already have the Raiders. We have our Golden Knights for hockey. I can't forget about our women's basketball, the Aces, they're killing it. So there's so much growth coming to the Valley, and we really have high demand. Here, I don't see us slowing down right now. And I'm super excited about the possibilities after being here for 30 years and seeing how much has really changed. It's a whole new world here. And if you haven't got to experience for yourself, I think you guys should come out and not only spend time on the Strip, but actually take the time to tour Vegas and get a feel for it. And it's a lot more family friendly, in my opinion, than a lot of people make it out to be.
Yeah, that's one thing I love to do is come back out there, not during a conference, and visit you and see the actual, sites to see, not just the Strip.
Yeah. I'll show you all the good local spots. We have some great options out here.
Cool. Well, we'll tag you on Instagram too, but where can people find you if they want more information?
Yeah. So Eluciant, Eluciant with Keller Williams is my company. And you can easily find me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I think I do TikTok sometimes. I'm horrible at it. Sorry. But it's all under the same handle. So you're easy to find me.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thanks so much for having me, Kelsey. I appreciate it.
Yeah.